Most of you feel the same way about this topic as we have recently experienced it, and that is daylight savings. Each year, countries all over the world set their clocks either an hour forward or an hour back in the spring and fall, respectively. This is due to the differing amounts of sunlight which are in the sky throughout the day. But I feel that this is no longer necessary in our current time. The policy started by the Uniform Time Act of 1966, and today most states still partake in this daylight savings, aside from Arizona and Florida recently. The main reason it was started was, as stated by Miriam Aries and Guy Newsham, in the effect of daylight saving time on lighting energy was to save the amount of energy used throughout the day. I won't deny it is great when we get that extra hour of sleep one time of the year, but it also sucks when we lose that hour of sleep, as we did this past week. I believe this policy is unimportant and no longer needed. We do not need, it does no more than disrupt our sleep schedules and arise more negatives than positives for most. Throughout my life, I've attended school early in the mornings, and throughout the winter months, the sun would rarely be up on my rides to school. Daylight savings is supposed to provide more daylight to those who wake up early for school, work, or whatever tasks they may have that day. I have never found benefits from the daylight time shift. At the end of the day, the sun would usually be setting around 5 o'clock, and that is absolutely absurd. I believe we should eliminate daylight savings altogether and leave the clocks where there is more sunlight later in the day rather than early in the morning. When we continually change the clocks each year, the majority of people experience no benefits and are only experiencing detrimental effects. In an article Daylight Savings Effects by Louisa Mueller and others, they stated that even relatively slight sleep imbalances have profound effects on people's perceptions and behaviors, impairing judgment, inducing anxiety, and even causing accidents. The morning after the time shifts of daylight savings, many feel out of sorts. By losing or gaining sleep, our bodies have to adjust, and this can either take days to weeks to happen. Sometimes readjusting does more harm than good. In an article by Ashley Strickland, Why Daylight Saving Time Can Be Bad for Your Health, she found that there was an increase in both the rates of strokes and heart attacks in the days following the spring shift. This is crazy because it's all because we change the clocks an hour twice a year. These risks are easily avoidable and can be taken away by eliminating daylight savings. Daylight savings not only affects sleep patterns, but has physical impacts for many people. In a study by Jason Varughese and Richard Allen, titled Fatal Accidents Following Changes in Daylight Savings Times, they found that there was significant data supporting an increase in automobile accidents after both times of spring and fall shifts. It's crazy to think that a change of 1 hour can affect the way people function, but I know that all of us can relate to how much change in sleep can have major effects. In this graph here, you can see that right after the spring shift, immediately after, days after, there's a great increase in car accidents, and then in the fall shift, a week later, there was an increase in accidents. Another study done by Stanley Crone on daylight saving time and traffic accidents found that the loss of 1 hour's sleep associated with the spring shift increased the risk of accidents as well. The fact that two studies found the same correlation proves that there is strong evidence with the idea that daylight savings is having a negative impacts. Car accidents do not need to be happening because someone decided a long time ago that we needed to change our clocks to better use energy. People will still be able to accomplish the same amount of tasks independent of the specific hours of sunlight throughout the day. It is a preposterous idea that we still follow the rules of daylight savings when there is no true significance for us. Furthermore, daylight savings not only has physical effects, but mental effects as well from sleep changes. When my sleep pattern is altered, and I'm sure some of you experience this too, you can see changes in mood and behavior. I often get more grumpy and less motivated when I lose sleep. This is exactly what happens during the spring time shift of daylight savings. In a study by Rebecca Umbach, Aggression and Sleep, a Daylight Saving Time Experience on Effect of Sleep Loss and Gain on Assaults, she found that the Monday after the start of daylight savings time had a higher number of assaults in her research. It is not necessarily that people are deciding to commit crimes because of daylight savings, but the evidence shows there is a correlation with the change in behavior when there is sleep loss. The fact that our moods can change due to a policy which forces us to alter our schedules should be good enough reasons for us to end daylight savings. In another article by David Wagner and Christopher Barnes titled Lost Sleep and Cyber Loafing, a Daylight Savings Experiment, they found more interesting evidence that following the time change, individuals are less able to self-regulate behavior and more likely to cyberloaf, which is going on the internet and searching things that are unnecessary at work or other places. In an article, another reason, this is just another reason proving that there are no benefits experienced by the majority of humans who have to deal with daylight savings. From my findings, it is clear that there are many negative effects due to the changes in sleep, and mood, and health, which we experience after time changes. We must stop daylight savings for good. Clearly, it has been a problem for many reasons, from increasing car accidents, arising certain health problems, and even leading to aggression and mood change. The human body is able to maintain a certain schedule, but we continually and unnecessarily alter such schedule twice a year for daylight savings. Daylight savings should be ended as it is irrelevant to the modern-day American and only adds unwanted hassle. We can do this by pushing our thoughts to Congress, as well as signing petitions in order to hopefully one day end daylight savings.